Blog Talk Radio. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aha Moments radio show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of high-frequency living worldwide. I'm Mari, and I am happy to be here with you. I wanted to come on and give you a 5-day frequency update, what is going on, what happens now, and how to stay centered and keep the faith. And I know I said I would come on a second time last week, but I always feel through energy first. So one of the things I always tell my students in the academy is what we're trying to do is shift ourselves from thinking 3D thoughts first and move into feeling and sensing 5D frequencies first, and then letting that dictate what actual 3D actions that we take. And so as I felt through the week and I felt through the energy, and I'm energetically watching frequency as well as watching all the 3D insanity that's going on right now, I just felt like I was guided to just hold. And sometimes that's what spirit does. And, you know, as you get on your own fluency path to being in the, you know, a very two-way conversation with your own higher self, which is exactly what you need right now. You can't go off of your intellect alone in this new climate that we have. It just won't work. There's just too many moving parts, and that's the whole point, is to get everyone to get on to using their energetic abilities as their primary way of navigating, being in the present moment, staying focused, getting centered, making sure that you're not only grounded to the frequencies of the earth, but also open to the frequencies of the 5D, the fifth dimensional energy, the infinite field, the quantum field, if you will. So this is a time of rapid change. Believe it or not, the change is really for within each of us, not so much outside, even though the outside shell is just cracking open, and we're seeing all the corruption come up to the forefront, the meanness, the cruelty, the stunning way that people can turn their backs on other people, the breakdown of every norm, at least in the United States, and the things that protected us all for so long, and those being, you know, challenged or threatened or, you know, weaponized. This is all very much on purpose, because we are going through, as a collective, the countries, the world, we're going through a tower moment where the old is breaking away, and it's now speeding up as we move into these new timelines, this new timeline, this new earth. So if you are sensitive, if you are an empath, if you are just a human being who has a soul within you, you are feeling this very, very deeply. And the energy in the planetary systems and the things that are going on from an astrological perspective, the astrologers are going absolutely crazy on you know, the ones that I've been speaking with and consulting with. The tower readers are crazy. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's like, oh my gosh. The dowsing rods, I have my own dowsing rods that I use to sort of validate. I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. how to validate the frequency that you get, right? So if you get a message, how do you validate that and know whether it's, true for you, false, whatever. Your higher self will never tell you anything false. Your mental mind will, right? So if you don't know how to discern the two, then having some tools to help you validate is important. But giving your power away to cards and predictions, that's not a good idea either, especially not now, because everything is possible, everything is moving, everything is up for grabs, everything is changing, and the thing that actually is going to dictate where you land in all of it is your focus. It's your focus. It's not this one gets to be the president, that one wants to be this one's going to take away that, and this one's not voting for this, and all of that, and all this vying for power and the war, and this not. All of that is, huge distractions. These drones, we'll get into that in a little bit. All the things that are going on, massive levels of uncovering. Like we talk about taking the lid off of Pandora's box. I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing, and that I'm hearing from not only my colleagues, but from my students and just from, friends and people at large, is like, I can't believe what we've been living, the illusion we've been living under, thinking we're the greatest and and everything's always going to be taken care of and everything's always going to be the same and all of that. And now it's just like, and the people that you thought were just one way are turning out to show you their true colors and a completely different thing than you could have ever imagined. So there's a lot of disillusionment. I always say, if I'm disappointed, you're still in the game. Because I still have hope that we could be undisappointed, right? Like, I'm still willing to work with, okay, what can we do so that I'm not disappointed? But if I'm disillusioned, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm a New Yorker. We always have, New York is kind of a way of, we have somewhat of a long fuse, but when we're done, we're really, really done. It's just who we are. We're just very kind of straightforward people. And even living in California now for 10 years, I still default back to when I'm done, I'm done. And that disillusionment is a big theme right now. We're really disillusioned with structures, with political parties, with leadership, with other people in our circle that we thought were one way, and then we see, wait a second, you would do that to somebody else, or you feel like, okay, I'm okay, so I don't really care about anything else. Are you serious right now? This is massive. This is massive. This is catastrophically massive in so many ways, and you're just like, well, business as usual, or I don't care, So there's this disillusionment theme going on, and people are hurting. People are hurting. Energetic work and spirituality, and I don't really consider myself as much in the spirituality space as I do in the frequency space. And from a frequency-based perspective, because I'm not into dogma and all that. I'm into the field, to the quantum field, and what are we creating for ourselves, and how can we maximize what we came here to do for ourselves first? Because when you are filled up, then you can be open to receiving the calling that you came here for, the contribution that you came here to do. You didn't come here just to do things for other people. That would be martyring. So it's important for you to be able to receive, for you to be able to command, for you to be able to say, yes, I deserve this. I choose this. I'm choosing my path forward. This one's not going to dictate to me. That one's not going to, no, this one's not taking away that. I'm not doing that. No, no, and no. Right? You need to be able to say no to what you just don't choose not to participate in. And if that's other people, then so be it. You also need to be able to say yes, to receive it. And the first thing in receiving that you want to receive, it's not all the money, the material things, it's the guidance. You need to be able to receive your guidance on a daily, minute by minute, choice by choice basis. You have just thousands of micro choices to make every single day. Thousands of them. Hundreds of them, if you want to be like, argue with me. But lots and lots and lots of micro changes. And if you have your own business, sample that. If you have kids, thousands of micro decisions. You have multiple kids, oh my goodness, spouses, significant others, partners, business partners, even your tennis partners and your bridge game and whatever else you're doing out there, your garden, taking care of all your plants, all of your animals, your pets, the number of micro decisions that you're making in a day are it's such a huge number. And if you are doing this only from the machinations of your mental mind, your intellect, your analysis, and your 3D mind, your 3D consciousness, you are going in the smallest vat of solutions possible. Because your 3D mind cannot come up with its own new ideas, only come up with ideas, answers that it's seen before, or what it's seen other people do before, or what's happened in your past that you've been through already before. So it is so important to recognize that the new ideas, the options, the creative solutions, the actual true solutions, the solutions that are going to fit, and the most efficient solutions come from your higher self. Period. 3D mind can't do it. It's not wired to do it, wasn't meant to do it. The 3D mind is a record keeper, and it's a logisticizer, and it's a physical action taker. But it's not the strategist. It's not the magic. It's not the expansion. It's not the ascension. It's not all of the access, the infinite. It's the small part to drive you around this physical incarnation and navigate the world. So as we move into this new timeline, into this new earth, into this 1,000 years of peace, which doesn't seem peaceful right now, seems pretty intense, more intense than anything we've seen in modern history. Okay, as we move into this, it is very important. Your most important, highest priority is connecting to your higher self. Number one priority. Because those stocks that you're worried about, they're going up, they're going down, and should you sell it, keep the real estate, should you just micro decisions, some macro decisions, all these, what's going to happen, all this need for prediction, all this thing, what's going to happen. Very naturally, we want to know. Very naturally, it is overwhelming not to know. Because so many of the things that we always see as stable and infrastructurally, in the background, are now in the forefront being threatened immensely. And so what Spirit is waiting for, what the collective is waiting for, what's happening is we need the masses, over 50% of them, okay, to say yes to the new address. Go forward. Yes to frequency. Yes to your expansion. Yes to your ascension. Yes to your new way. And that means you have to say no to the contraction, the constriction, the codependency, the giving your power away, the ignorance, the keeping, just focusing on the little microcosm of your own self, or controlling the people in your world. So, he doesn't make me happy. How come he didn't phone? All those kind of things. All of that has to go. Now, the questions that you have to start asking a different set of questions. So, the first big question is, how does this feel to me right now? Not, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? No, you take a beat. Say, what am I feeling right now? Is this something that I need to take action on? Is this something that's a hold? Or is this something that I should dismiss? Do I need to take action? Do I need to hold? Or do I need to dismiss? Those are the three categories you ask your higher self. That was actually just channeled to me right now. I'm kind of in channeling mode right now. So, do you take action? Do you hold because you don't have enough information yet? Well, it needs to be an allowance, not a wait and see so much, but an allowing it to show more for clarity. So that, you can ask your higher self, give me a clarifier, or dismiss. The scariest things, you need to just, you say, you know what, I will not accept that as my personal reality, period. Show me the better way, show me the parallel where this is the way I need it to be. I will not accept this over there like that, period. That is not going to be part of my reality. I will not accept it. And you put your foot down. And this is commanding frequency. Because what we've learned in dogma, and most people come from one of the big reasons why we're in trouble right now is all this religious black and white, take us backwards to, all these backwards things, this religious ogering that's happening, where one set of people says our way is the only way and everybody else needs to acquiesce to our way so we can prove to ourselves that we're right. No. That dogma is what gets everybody in trouble. And it's actually just not true. It's a stripped down version of the truth. Because, and this is bigger than our conversation for today, but for instance, the Kabbalah, which included, Father, Mother, God, and all kinds of directives and mysticism, that predates Christianity by 3,000 years. There was a whole lot before the Christianity thing stepped in. And then the patriarchal thing stepped in. And, having energetic powers you were considered to be witch, which was considered to be evil, instead of someone who could navigate the energetic abilities that you were born with and that we were all meant to be using 80% of the time in our lives. 80% of the time, your energetic self is supposed to be carrying 80% of the load. And that includes your energetic communications abilities, your ability, not just intuition. Intuition is like the ringtone on your phone. Can you imagine if your phone kept ringing and you never answered it? You said, oh, I got a ringtone. Oh, I got a ringtone. Oh, I got it. But you never picked up the phone and talked. You would never get the information, right? You would never have the conversation. That's what happens when we think intuition only. We need to go beyond intuition. Intuition is one piece of the energetic communication system. We also have telepathic abilities where you can sense what is really the words behind the words. Where you can sense non-verbally on an energetic, what's the energetic communication that's coming from this person? Like, what's the real thing that they're saying? What's the true intention underneath these words? There's some people you can tell when they're speaking from the heart. Their heart leads, and you feel those words, and those words and the frequency are one. And then there's other people who have rhetoric. And they flap their gums, and the intention is completely the opposite. And it assaults all of your senses, and it assaults your intelligence, and assaults your stabilizers. And if you're not fluent in your frequency, well, you can check in with your higher self, and you can say, hey, what do we got here? I smell a rat. And everybody says, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's not really a rat. Just go along with it. Conform. Be like us. We're right. What you're feeling is wrong. And then everything in your body shuts down because you don't want to challenge the mass or the mess, if you will. We learn as children, we're traumatized, we might have some trauma, some emotional trauma, some narcissistic parents, whatever we had. And so we learn how to not rock the boat, to go along with the flow, to conform. Guess what? The big theme of all of this chaos right now is conforming, especially to the wrong thing, especially to the dumbed down, stripped down, crazy, mean, cruel, divisive stuff. Conforming to that, that's not going to get you to the new timeline. That'll keep you in the old one. That'll keep you in the dark one. Knock yourself out. There'll be people there. Many people will be right there in their own rude awakening. But here's what's happening for people like you. People who are listening to this show are even attracted to this work, especially now, to this conversation. Here is the good news for you. You're asking questions. You're saying, okay, I need to know something. I'm missing something. I need to get some more information. I need to know, what can I do now? How can I find my power in this? Because once we get on the other side of this, we're going to step into a time, and this will all die. We will get through this period. The tower doesn't tower and fall forever. It levels off, and then we start to get some traction, and we go up from there. Okay. But once you get on the other side of this, and everybody is filled with their own disillusionment for the old and for the lies and for the, pedestalizing people. There's only, your higher self and God and the divine frequencies and the infinite intelligence and the universe and all that. There's no this person's version of it is right and that person, is, and that's the only way. Okay? You have infinite choice, infinite parallels to choose from. You get to choose your way. And once you get on that path, and you have that two-way conversation going with your higher self so that you're going back and forth as you go. And, in my mental mind is saying, you should really get a shot, you should really get a shot. But my frequency is saying, wait, hold, one more, hang in there, wait, hold. Allow. So it's like hold and allow yourself to process some more. I was led to different colleagues and guidance and information and just letting some more events unfold and finding this thread that felt true, that felt relevant to the direction of expansion. Okay? So this is what I'm here to lead you to as being an energetic leader that I am. I'm not here to tell you, pick this, pick that, don't do da. What I'm here to do is to lead you onto the path of expansion, to show you, okay, if you want expansion, if you want to get to the other side of this, if you want to be in the timeline of the 1,000 years of peace, if you want to be in a timeline where you thrive and not just survive, where you are going forward, where you're rising up, where you're that phoenix coming up out of the tower, the old way, then this is the thread line. This is the through line to that. And I tell you what, the pathway is narrow right now. So it is important that when a pathway is narrow and you don't have a lot of navigational room, that you're very deliberate with where you step and what you think and what you choose to expose yourself to. Does that mean shutting down to all the conversations and just numbing out and say, I have friends who literally call me and say, okay, I'm not going to watch anything or do anything, so I know that you do this kind of thing, that's your thing, so you're just going to call me and update me, right? Because I'm just going to go ahead and do all my regular things because this is freaking me out too much. That's not going to get you on the path either. So when you're, the higher self piece of this, the conversational relationship with the higher self, I've been talking about this for 10 years, for longer, I've had hundreds of people go through my classes, but it is so important. People look at it as, I'm a spiritual thing, it's a hobby. It's this. This is no longer a hobby. This is the tool that you need to go through the narrow passageway. Because every choice you make counts right now. And it's not, this is not fear-mongering or anything. It's just that if you want that direction into this new world, into this world of expansiveness, of alignment, of ascendance and expansion, the pathway is narrow right now. It will widen up, but we got a passageway. I'm holding the lantern, single file, let's go. And it's going to not right, wrong, black, white, going to freedom of your own choice. How are you going to choose your parallels going forward? Because everything is available to you. That's also in your 5D toolkit. access to the infinite through alchemy, through your manifesting abilities. But those manifesting abilities need to be synced up with the conversational relationship with your higher self. Just going and trying to recite recipes and jockeying back and forth between desperate prayer and saying affirmations a zillion times and like manic manifesting and running around like watching every video on YouTube, which they're like rampant right now. That's creating confusion, and quite frankly, the underbelly of all of that is terror, which then is the dominant emotion, which is the magnetic energy that brings whatever it is to you. Whatever is your dominant, loudest emotion, the one that's the deepest and the loudest, whether it's lack of fear, if you're frenetically acting like blah, 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 then fear is the dominant. Even then you say, oh, but I work so hard. Yeah, but you work from fear as your engine. So that's what you are reflecting in that mirror. And the 5D is behind the mirror, and your 3D self is in front of the mirror, and you got to change your 3D self in order to get the 5D to reflect it back to you. So right now, saying to yourself, listen, I know I'm in a narrow passageway. We all are. This is where we're at right now. There's a lot of noise, and it feels like a lot of like crushing energy, like a push. It's a birthing energy. Birthing a baby is not fun for that kid, and it's not fun for the mother. The whole thing is painful. And both sides are looking for relief. The kid is looking for relief, and the mother's looking for relief. Everybody's looking for relief during a birthing process. The path is narrow. So we need to put the histrionics down. Don't expose yourself to stuff that is not complete. So if you're watching the news, and the mainstream news, I talked about this on the last show, the corporate media is not showing the full picture. You can check in. But I check in when I'm guided to. I hear, okay, you know what? Go hit up a couple of the shows, listen to 10, 15 minutes, and then I hear, okay, turn it off. Just to keep the pulse of what's kind of what's out there, mainstreaming. But then you step into, again, your higher self. Your higher self will lead you to the information that's true. And you just say, is this true or not? And then you feel through it. And you will get either a yes, go forward, a hold, wait and see, wait, take it in, wait, collect the information, but wait, or no, this is insane. That's shit crazy. No, just no. We're not accepting. That's ridiculous. And you keep moving. Right? You will get one of those three things if you ask. Okay? Now, your choice and your power to choose how you're going to react to whatever you're being exposed to is more important than ever before. Frequency first. Okay? Now, as we're going into the holidays at this time of this recording, and on the other side of it, what we're looking at, and there's a lot of pressure right now because we have, deadlines and things politically. There's a lot of things going on overseas. There's a lot of through lines and a lot of threads. There's a lot of dots to connect. Connect your dots. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's not a donkey. It's a duck. Okay? And just because a bunch of people say it is a donkey, who don't even know what donkeys are, this is not the time to conform because they're louder. Okay? What I am seeing as of especially the last few days, is a tremendous amount of resistance where people are just saying, you know what, I don't care what the consequences are. I'm going to get on my own channel. I'm going to get on my own social media. I'm going to speak my truth and say, look, this is nuts. This is crazy. Look, somebody needs to stop. This needs to stop. Da, 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 right? People are starting to take their power. And this is what's really important for you to be able to continue to have power over your own life and your own freedom. Okay? So, the centering. So we do clear, connect, communicate, create. Create is the actual taking action. If you're trying to take action without the clearing and the connecting and the communicating, you will take it in vain. It is a crapshoot. If you clear yourself, you ground yourself, just some basics. We have, all kinds of things in the academy, but if you're just doing a basic, you can just smudge yourself, or you can put a magic circle around yourself, or you can just surround yourself in white light and say, okay, I'm clearing myself now. And then you say, higher self, I need your guidance, show me. And then you communicate that guidance, and you can even ask, can you give me a clarifier? Is this what I'm picking up? Am I picking up the right way, or am I not? And then you decide on what actions you're going to take. And sometimes, again, that action may be to stay still. Not to numb out, okay, where you're just numb the whole time, because that's sitting duckbill, but to stabilize yourself, to center yourself, to go within and say, what do I want my reflection to be? And what you'll find is that if you concentrate, there's a little tool you can try. If you concentrate on the headlines the way you want them to see, you want to see them, you will start to see within 24 hours to 48 hours, you will start to see headlines that start to match what your desire is. Is that wishful thinking? You can call it that, but it's not. What it is creating you're choosing your parallel. Because there is a parallel where this man is a dictator and taking away every freedom, vaccines, Medicare, Social Security, the FDIC, putting people, throwing people in slave camp, all the things that they're talking about. Project 2025 is full out. There is a parallel. There are many parallels in that direction, and there are plenty of people who are going to be in those parallels. And then there's the other one where that inauguration doesn't happen. The weird silence and the weird, seemingly like almost like ineptness of the administration now. Like, are you going to do anything? Are you going to do anything? That's the question every time. Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do something? Like, wait, you're having a Christmas party? What, are you kidding me right now? Do you realize there's like 9,000 drones over New Jersey? What the hell is happening? All of that. There is a reason for that. There's an underbelly to that. There is something going on underneath that. It is just not even just this, even if we took away 5 feet, logic alone. That, if you can have a press conference over a CEO being shot in the street, or you can have a press conference over a shooting at a high school, you can have a press conference about, all these other things. You can certainly have a press conference about drones. You can certainly have a press conference about bomb threats of an election. You can certainly have, a press conference about voting being tampered with, and somebody having an app and having the voting numbers 4 hours before anything is finished or announced. Somebody's kid celebrating that he got, he's going to get away with everything. There's a video out that I just saw today, or maybe it was yesterday, where Tucker Carlson is literally talking to, the Tesla guy with his son, and the little kid is saying, oh, we can do anything we want, and oh, yeah, we did stuff to the election, and oh, yeah, we could do anything. You can look it up. Look it up yourself. I didn't make it up. I saw it with my own eyes. It's on YouTube. And the kid is literally whistleblowing on his father. And he's like climbing all over him and everything, and they're trying to blow him off because he's a kid, and yeah, but, when you add this plus this plus this plus this plus this, it adds up. And an entire legion of cyber intelligence people are saying the same thing. If this woman is a prosecutor, which she is, and this guy is a statesman for better part of 50 years, they know how to hold a press conference. They know how to take action. This is not going by the wayside. There is something going on. It's in the shadows right now. There's a shadow war going on. So this is where we get the hold message. Just hold, steady as she goes. If you catastrophize, you will choose the parallel where the catastrophizing comes through. If you say, okay, I'm going to stay centered, I'm going to stay present, I'm going to stay connected to my higher self, to my frequency first, and I'm going to follow, because your intuition is going to pop off. Your dreams are going to pop off. If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to, talk to your higher self and being able to understand all of the different tools that that we go through, because it's a language. It's like learning Spanish or English or Russian or whatever. But if you don't have all of that, what you do have is all of that is in you. You don't have the operating manual and necessarily the fluency in it, but your higher self is letting you know, pick this parallel. I have seen more people say, I had a dream, my grandmother came to me and she said, there's something not right, the numbers aren't numbering. There's something not right. Their lives are bigger than ever. Oh, I had a dream about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I had a dream about this one. I had this feeling. I had this sixth sense. Yeah. It's called massive awakening, because we want the collective to be here and go forward in this expansion, this frequency where everybody gets in alignment with who? Where everybody gets in alignment with their highest and best self. And when we get on the other side of this, and we will, and you will be in the parallel of the choices that you make. And that will play out as it plays out. And you will have the leadership, and we will have the guidance, and we will be in a fair and just situation in society. The next stage of this is alignment with our calling. You have a calling. There is something in you that you're here to do. And everybody is being pushed to start to ask those kinds of questions. You can't really get to the calling part if you're feeling unsafe. So now, if all the things around you are kind of shoving you into all these old directions. But if you think about it, AI, technology advanced, and now consciousness has to advance to keep up with it. If you have technology that outpaces consciousness and outpaces the heart center and empathy, there goes civilization right there, as we know. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the rubber meets the road. So, how do you get that? You have empathy yourself. You say, I'm not going to sit here and fight with all these people saying these other things. I'm going to say, you have a right to your own truth. I'm out. I'm not dealing with you. I'm go. Do your thing. Find your sheep. Go to your sheep. I'm over here with mine. I'm going this direction. And I have choice. And I have the choice to reflect the parallel that I choose from my infinite catalog of choice and parallels in the infinite field. And I'm choosing to go this way. And I'm connecting my heart center and my brain and my focus and my empowered choosing to this. And then I'm only registering what proves it out to me. So I'm only going to react. So as you choose your parallel, you are going to start to see evidence of it. You're also going to see evidence of the one you don't want, because right now, this is an interesting thing. I talk about this in class, in my advanced classes. Right now, we're in a splitting of worlds, right? We're in the splitting phase. So everybody can still see the other side, right? Like those guys over there say, oh, there's snowflakes, all those Dems, all those liberals, all blah, 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 and they're with their sheep. And we're gonna do whatever to everybody. Then you have the other side saying, oh no, this is not. Listen, these guys are going to jail. This isn't going to happen. This guy's got to take. No. We deserve health care. We deserve safety. We deserve choice. We deserve our freedoms. We deserve to be our own people. We deserve to make our own choices for our bodies. We deserve women's rights and all those other things. So we're going down this path. But you will still see people who are on the other side. Right? Because right now, those parallels are still running neck and neck. You can still see the other parallel, but that doesn't mean you have to choose it. How do you choose out of it? By not reacting to it. And that doesn't mean you're numbed out or checked out. That means you go, oh, okay, and then you dismiss. You observe and dismiss. Okay, yep, knock yourselves out. Not for me. I'm out. And you keep going. It's like when you were in high school and there was the kids who smoked and the kids who didn't, and or the kids who got high and the kids who said, you know what, that's not my thing. You guys, okay, you knock yourselves out. I'm over here. That's exactly what you have to do now. And what will happen, this is from a frequency-based perspective, is that when you keep choosing what you want to see, and you keep choosing, like, okay, yeah, you know what, that headline is a bit more positive. You know what, I'm going to take today off from the headlines and I'm going to go out to the beach. I'm going to focus on my connecting today. I'm going to focus on my clearing today. I'm going to clean out that cloud. I'm going to clean out the car. I'm going to smudge. I'm going to take a hot salt bath. I'm going to do my tapping, a Ho'oponopono, or whatever it is, and I'm going to connect and make that my priority, make my frequency my priority, and my higher self will guide me through. Now, your 3D mental mind will try to pull you into certainty because that's what makes it feel safe. But I promise you, the unknown is safer than the bad choice of assuming the worst. Protective pessimism will get you in the parallel you don't want to be in. So instead of saying, you can say, you know what, this feels tight today. This feels heavy today. And I with, some of my colleagues, we were like, holy crap, this is insane. Right? I'm like ready to pick up the phone and call the White House and say, okay, dude, enough with the Christmas parties, okay? Jill on the Christmas breakfast. Hello? What the hell's going on, right? You want to say, but there's a lot going on. If you listen to NATO and you watch internationally what's going on, there's a lot of action being taken. There's raids, there's quiet things going on. But remember, it has to be tight. When it breaks, it has to be all the way. And we don't know how that's going to look. We don't know what's going to happen on Inauguration Day, if there's going to be an inauguration, if there's not going to be an inauguration. I have my opinions about it and my energetic feelings and knowings about it. But, we can allow the how-to. You don't want to manifest from the middle. You want to focus on the end result. You want to feel yourself on Inauguration Day, whether that's January 20th or March 20th or whatever. You want to be feeling for yourself, oh, my God, I'm so relieved. Hand on your heart center. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, it's a miracle. Oh, geez. Oh, my God. Okay, I promise you I'm going to go forward, and now I'm going to, reach out to my calling and find what's most aligned for me, and I'm going to live my best life. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Okay, or thank you, whoever. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, whatever. You want to get in that zone. You don't want to say, okay, what if they don't certify by this date and they don't do this, and then he didn't say that, and this, and I'm not getting it. Oh my God. Okay. We're all going to die. Isn't it horrible? Don't do that, because then that pulls you into the dirty parallel. You need to be as clean as possible. Focus on the end, not on the middle. You can't control the how. We can't. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth. And I see a lot of psychics, they're feeling like they have to be on doing content every single day, and they're saying, so he'll say this, and then she'll say that, and then he'll do this, and then the astrologers, okay, well, this is trying this, and this is playing this, so on this date, this is going to happen, and that's it. You can't do that. There's so many moving parts, so many different parallels. And the collective is being drawn, it's splitting. Pick your lane, and then you got to stay in it. That's your responsibility right now. Pick your lane. You have to stay in it. Okay, so what we're doing is we're coming into the light. And if you get nervous, focus on service to the light and just say, okay, what is my next best choice? And that could be to have a cup of chamomile tea and take B. What's my best next choice? That could be to go out and buy a case of water because you feel like you might need a case of water. This doesn't mean that if you take any kind of precautions, like where your husband comes in or your significant other comes in and says, you know what, honey, I think we should probably have this, and this, and I'm just following my gut on this. And you say, okay, fine. Doesn't hurt to have extra water. Right? If you're here, because there are rocky roads in the physical. So we're not saying be a sitting duck and just be Pollyanna. Oh, I'm not going to do any of those things because I didn't pick that parallel. Even picking that parallel, there are things that we have to wade through. If we were in a cave and we're navigating through, there's going to be parts where, you meet the bats and it gets a little darker and it gets, or the footing goes out from underneath you a little bit, and or you're walking on the edge of a thing that you could fly, all that kind of stuff, right? So you have to have some dexterity and some flexibility and some common sense and keep moving forward. That's our most important thing, is to keep moving forward, but on the right path. Totally checking out doesn't get you anywhere, because numbing out isn't part of the new frequency. The new frequency is about empowered, energetic action. The new frequency, the new earth, 1,000 years of peace, is about focusing on the heart center, on empathy. Empathy for yourself, and empathy for your common man, and empathy for the earth, and empathy for the interdimensional societies too, because we're going there. We're going there. Okay? This drone thing. So there's 3 perspectives I have on this. I have opinions and I have perspective. Okay? I'm going to focus on perspectives because I want you all to have your own, I don't want to influence you, one way or the other. There are, so there's one perspective that this is a giant distraction. Elon Musk's brother owns a drone company. There is a lot of centering around Elon tampering with elections, not just here, but in other countries. There's a lot of pressure going on to him. There's a lot of surveillance around him. There's a lot of stuff around him that's coming up. There's a lot of investigations. There's a lot of things underneath, behind the scenes. So it's 1,000 drones around certain parts of the country and have them do nefarious looking things and terrorize everybody. When you also articulated you were going to do that back in September, over the summer, you said something to that effect in the press, and now all of a sudden it's happening. He's kind of like the dog that tells on itself when you walk in the house and you look at the dog and you're like, okay, what did you do? And the dog's like cowering. He kind of says what he's going to do because he's so excited about it and he has no empathy. So he just blurts it out because he's more excited about the power than he is about the common sense of why are you doing that? They added all this up, right? So there's that perspective that it could be that. There's other perspectives of, they're looking for something that could be radioactive things or power grid things. And, so there's that kind of thing that these drones are the U.S., doing surveillance to try to keep us safe and not telling us all this stuff. And, so we'll see about that. That's a perspective. That's not necessarily true, not true. It's a narrative. It's a perspective. Okay. And then there's the other perspective of, okay, the aliens are coming in and they're, fighting with the Russians and, so there's all these different theories of what this all could be. But here's the bottom line. This is where when you don't know and you don't have the foreshore, then your higher self is observe and hold. Just be, observe, use your common sense. If somebody's saying, get yourself out of such and such a place, and get yourself out of such and such a place. Otherwise, observe. And ask your higher self to give you the truth, the threads of the truth, show you. Give your mental mind support. Give your physical, your mental mind that needs tangible evidence to show me my way. Because remember, there's multiple parallels and there's multiple outcomes. All those perspectives are real in some parallel. So then you say to your higher self, show me the way for me. Show me the truth for me. And then follow the directives of steps. If you get an inspired action step to take, then take the step. It could be, ignore that or don't ignore that or here's the truth. You'll start to feel things sort of rise up and say, oh, that feels like it's a high note. That feels more true, right? So the other thing is, and this is something that was told to me a little bit ago, and I'm seeing it play out, is one of the things that they said was there's kind of an energetic version of COVID going on, an energetic virus that's based on fear. And there's, heavy energies that are, pulling us down that the darker road, and there's a lot of, all that coercion and corruption and power mongering and just destruction and takeover and all that stuff that, and that whole, these people aren't even operating for our country, they're operating for another country and another leader and all that stuff. There's that, all of that creates fear, and that fear is like a feed to that darker energy. So what you want to do is starve that energy. Every time you start to step into fear, do something good for yourself. Say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give in to that. And stay away from people. Just like you would stay out of a room that has a bunch of people who are sick, you want to stay out of that energetic room too. You want to come back to center. Again, you're going to check in, make sure that you're getting the news, making sure that you get what you need from a 3D perspective to keep yourself, navigating the narrow passageway and safe and aware without immersing yourself into half-truths and half-stories, because that's really what's happening right now. And you're going to pick the people that you feel can guide you the best, and you're going to invest in them. You're going to study with them. You're going to step into, watching the shows or whatever it is, take the class, do whatever it is that you feel you need to do to keep yourself nimble, and don't isolate. Now, stillness and isolation are two different things. So you might feel like, okay, I think I need to take a beat and just pull in and go inward. That's different than completely isolating from everybody. So you want to find your community of like-minded people that where you feel lifted, where you feel good, where you feel like you can fully, genuinely express yourself, which is another theme for right now. And you want to also have those times of silence, of going inward and really connecting with that 5D frequency dashboard of yours, that higher self, so that you can get your next steps through this passageway. We will get to the other side of it. I do feel, this is my, this is my opinion, entertainment purposes only, because I don't, that's what we have to say. I do feel that this inauguration will not happen for him. I do feel that there is a lot coming to a head. I do feel that the election votes and voting things is not as important as the war situation that we're in. I do feel like we have been cyber attacked. I do feel that there has been a lot of foreign interference with our elections, which would make it null and void in many ways, and I think that will come out. I do feel that. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's opinion. So, I've consulted with really dynamic, world-class colleagues in all different types of divinations and what have you, and astrology and all of that. And we're all on the same page with that. The major channels who are channeling Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Kron, all these different people, all saying very similar things, or the exact same thing. So it's collaborative. It's a calibrated and collaborative set of choices, and opinions. So I just tell you, keep the faith, and keep the faith in yourself and in your higher self to guide you into the parallel where you want to be. That's where the faith needs to be, not in this part. Even if what's her name gets into the office and she's not God, we're still going to have a lot to navigate. But it's what you want is access to the most freedom possible, and to that higher level of consciousness and the open roads. We want those road openers as we go forward. Okay? I will be doing, for those of you who'd like some support, I am doing 2025 Outlook readings. So those are intuitive readings. I'm doing a nice holiday special. I'm going to be sending an email out about that tomorrow. So if you're interested in talking to me for 50 minutes and just getting some perspective for you personally, I would highly encourage you to sign up for one of the sessions, and we'll be doing them into January, because I know next week is Christmas. So we'll set those appointments up first week of January. And so if you'd like that, then by all means you can send an email to support@ahamomentsinc.com. And also I am registering I have a few spots now in my level 1 of the High Frequency Living Academy. It used to be the 5-day academy. I'm changing it now. And that will be starting in January. And that's an 9-week deep dive. We do a full course on clearing, which is a 9-day process. We do level 1 and level 2 of the channeling process with your higher self. We get into the 5D infrastructure, all the stuff I've been talking about, but in great detail and in depth, and really get you going on your path to fluency and mastery. And you'll be getting downloadable messages that you can, write long form contextual messages or record in your voice recorder on your phone, so that you can have a catalog of guidance that's specifically for you from your higher self. And I'll be doing a nice holiday special for that as well. So I'll be sending out information on both of those options for you in the next day or so. And we'll be doing that special offer probably until Christmas Eve. So if you'd like one of those spots, it'll be first come, first serve. By all means, please send me an email at support@ahamomentsinc.com. If you're not on my email list, or if you are, you'll be seeing an email, and you can certainly reach out that way. All right, so stay focused on how you want to live. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to the new address of your new parallel that you're choosing. Stay centered. Enjoy your holidays. Don't let anyone steal your power. A lot of it is smoke and mirrors of, we're in a narrow passageway. Follow the light. Follow your own yellow brick road. I will be doing the Wicked analysis next week because I didn't get back to the movie the second time, and I was going to do it off the first time, and they said, nah, I need to see it the second time because I have a lot of ideas. So I will be doing that. So I'll get that out as soon as I see it the second time, probably in the next few days. But keep moving, keep going forward, believe in yourself, believe in the power of consciousness, believe in the forward momentum, and know that, can you imagine if everybody was allowed to step into their passion and to work from their calling? That's what AI is doing. It's taking away the mundane jobs. It's going to push everyone to find their heartfelt work and get out there and contribute to society from their hearts, from their passion. That's one thing about Wicked that I absolutely love, is that when you look across, and I'm going to talk about that when I do the analysis, but when you look across that film, every single person in that film was following their actual, absolute calling. The amount of energetic manifesting stuff that went on for those cast and that director and that crew, all the way through the 3 years of making that thing, has been astounding. It's been amazing to listen to all those different accounts. But everybody, from the costume designers, the set designers, the lighting people, the musicians, the orchestras, the actors, the stunt people, the dancers, the dance choir, everybody was at the top of their game and living in their calling and feeling like they had imposter syndrome. Like, really? This is so big. I get to do this? Holy moly. That's how you want to be. That's what you want to go for. Go see that movie again with that in mind. Do you want to be that? Do you want to be saying, holy crap, I get to do this? Like, I'm here now. Like, we've gotten here. We've made it through. Look at what we were going through this time last year. See yourself this time next year saying, oh my gosh, can you imagine the crazy we were living through, and look where we are now? Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. I feel so good. That's the kind of energy. That's what you want to practice. Practice the success. That whole plan for the worst and hope for the best, when it's this crazy, planning for the worst can be like Armageddon in and of itself. So you don't want that. What you want us to do is to focus on the best, focus on the direction, focus on the step-by-step, staying in the present moment, and focus on feeling, not just watching and reacting, feeling and creating, and follow your own yellow brick road. Follow that light, and you will be guided. All right, so I'm going to end on that, and I will be back with more, and you'll see emails from me about our Outlook readings. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one if you need that support, or if you're interested in seeing some guidance, getting some validation on some ideas that you already have of your own. I like to do that once a year. I do these Outlook readings, and now is that time. And level 1 of the Academy is amazing. It is a game changer, and it's a skill set that everybody needs now, not just, it's no longer just a, nice to have if you get the time. This is the operating manual of the future. It really is, and the future is here now. So we will end with my motto, which is, you truly can have exactly what you want. You absolutely deserve it too. And with a little focus, care, attention, trust, and faith, anything is possible. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.